जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय जय श्री श्री निताय गौर चंद्र भगवान की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Reading from Canto 1, Chapter 11, text number 6. Natāḥ sadāṅghri-paṅkajaṁ viriñca-vairiñcya-surendra-vanditam parāyaṇaṁ kṣemam icchatām param na yatra kālaḥ prabhavet prabhuḥ natāḥ sadāṅghri-paṅkajaṁ viriñca-vairiñcya-surendra-vanditam parāyaṇaṁ kṣemam icchatām param na yatra kālaḥ prabhavet prabhuḥ natāḥ sadāṅghri-paṅkajaṁ viriñca-vairiñcya-surendra-vanditam parāyaṇaṁ kṣemam ihecchatāṁ param न यत्र कालः प्रभवेत् परप्रभु स्मतेनात् सदाङ्घ्रि-पाṅkajam viriñca-vairiñcya-surendra-vanditam parāyaṇaṁ chem ihecchatāṁ param न यत्र कालः प्रभवेत् परप्रभु natāḥ sadāṅghri-paṅkajam viriñca-vairiñcya-surendra-vanditam parāyaṇaṁ kṣemam ihecchatāṁ paraṁ न यत्र कालः प्रभवेत् परप्रभु natāḥ sadāṅghri-paṅkajam viriñca-vairiñcya-surendra-vanditam ihecchatāṁ param न यत्र कालः प्रभवेत् परप्रभु माताजी natāḥ sadāṅghri-paṅkajam viriñca-vairiñcya-surendra-vanditam parāyaṇaṁ kṣemam ihecchatāṁ param न यत्र कालः प्रभवेत् परप्रभु natāḥ bowed down sma we had done so te unto you nātha O Lord sadā always aṅghri-paṅkajam the lotus feet viriñca Brahmā the first living being viriñca sons of Brahmā like Sanaka and Sanātana sura-indra the king of heaven vanditam worshipped by parāyaṇaṁ the supreme kṣemam welfare iha in this life icchatām one who has desires param the highest never yatra wherein kālaḥ inevitable time prabhavet can exert its influence transcendental prabhuḥ the supreme lord. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The citizens said, O Lord, you are worshipped by all demigods like Brahmā, the four sanas, and even the King of Heaven. You are the ultimate rest for those who are really aspiring to achieve the highest benefit of life. You are the supreme transcendental Lord, and inevitable time cannot exert its influence upon you. Purport. The Supreme Lord is Sri Krishna as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Samhita and other authorized Vedic literatures. No one is equal to or greater than him, and that is the verdict of all scriptures. The influence of time and space is exerted upon the dependent living entities who are parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. The living entities are predominated Brahman, whereas the Supreme Lord is the predominating Absolute. As soon as we forget this clear fact, we are at once in illusion, and thus we are put into threefold miseries, as one is put into dense darkness. The clear consciousness of the cognizant living being is God consciousness, in which one bows down onto Him in all circumstances. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Raghunatam Shri Vishakham Vitamsha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namne Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratuse Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Stute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hari Hari. It is in the bag. Where is the bag? It's in the bag. Sorry for the. I think I kept my car. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to purify myself. I am not at all qualified to sit on this Vyasasana, but devotees are very merciful, allowing me to speak. So please bless me that whatever I speak is in parampara, is pleasing to Guru and Srila Prabhupada. And if I speak anything beyond my realization, please forgive me, because this topic, I think I will speak beyond my realizations. So here we are on the shloka, actually on series of shloka where Lord Krishna is arriving in Dwarka. And actually this series of shloka shows the relationships between Lord Krishna and the devotees, the sambandh between devotees and Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna, starting of the chapter, he blows his conch shell, which shows that he is also very eager to meet his devotees. And the devotees are also very eager to meet Lord Krishna. So they are running towards the chariot of Lord Krishna. And whatever the profession they are in, right? Some might be merchants, some might be jewelers, some might be vegetable vendors. Whatever they had in their hand, they all came forward running to present their offerings to Lord Krishna. So this is the loving reciprocation between Lord Krishna and his devotees. It shows, this actually series of verses shows us more about the sambandh. What kind of a sambandh we should have with Lord, how attached we should be with the Lord, how eager we should be to receive the Lord. And this eagerness is there among devotees, not just for the Lord, even for devotees of the Lord. And we see so many examples of arrival of Srila Prabhupada. Like I was just searching, and there were so many pastimes of the arrival of Lord Krishna, of Srila Prabhupada. So one such arrival, I will just narrate, share. Like Srila Prabhupada was coming after a long time to US, and he came to Detroit, which is kind of central of US, north central of US. And devotees came from different parts of the country, some from east of America, New York and those areas, some from west of America. All of them came to receive Srila Prabhupada, and all were very eager and enthusiastic to meet Srila Prabhupada. Some of them did not ever see Srila Prabhupada. They were initiated, but they had never seen Srila Prabhupada. So they were all eager to meet Srila Prabhupada, and His Holiness Indradhanam Swami Maharaj writes that the mood was such that they were longing, they were crying. Those who knew or had seen Srila Prabhupada were crying for Srila Prabhupada. Those who did not know were chanting loudly for Srila Prabhupada. And if you see lot many videos when Srila Prabhupada descends from the plane, he wears a very broad smile. He is very happy to see his devotees. Same, like Krishna is also very happy to see his devotees. And when Srila Prabhupada came down, devotees were like ecstatically chanting, doing kirtan. In one of the arrivals, I was reading that devotees had actually welcomed Srila Prabhupada in a helicopter in London. And they were chanting and doing kirtan so loudly that one of the devotees was playing kartal, and he did not even know that his kartal had actually cut his forehead and he was bleeding. So all these material pains are also insignificant when we see the devotees of the Lord, or when we see the Lord himself. That is the kind of eagerness. And this is a point of introspection for us, are we really eager to come and take darshan of the Lord? Do we have that eagerness, or do we have that lalsa to see our Guru Maharaj? Some of you would have, but if some of us don't have that eagerness to see the Lord or to see our Guru, like what they had eagerness to see Srila Prabhupada, then there is something that we need to introspect. That introspection is that the sambandh is not created. Because the sambandh is not created, we don't have that eagerness to see our Guru, or to see Srila Prabhupada, or to take darshan of the Lord. So we need to create that sambandh. We need to go deeper into our Krishna consciousness, deeper into sambandh with Krishna, sambandh with Guru, sambandh with chanting, sambandh with Srimad Bhagavatam. Otherwise, it will become very superficial. Our Krishna consciousness will become very superficial. It will be like eating and a dancing club. One of the very senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada, when I was in Bangalore, he was giving a class, and he was actually chastising everybody. He said, "Have you come here to eat halwa?" And I actually kind of felt little offended, because I used to come only for eating prasadam to the temple. And he said, are we here to just come and eat halwa? Because halwa is famous in ISKCON, right? So our Krishna consciousness should not be just superficial. We should go deeper into our relationships, into relationships with devotees, into relationships with Guru. Like sometimes we are in Krishna consciousness for so many years, but we don't even have a single friend, a dear friend whom we can talk very freely, without the garb of any utpadi or any upadhis we have. Sometimes we have these upadhis of being a lead kirtanyar. Sometimes you have an upadhi of giving wonderful classes. Sometimes we have an upadhi of being a counselor. Without that garb, we should have a friend whom we can discuss very freely. He should not be able to judge. We should be able to cry in front of him. Do we have that kind of relationship? Sometimes our devotion is very superficial. We don't create that sambandh. I remember that when I was in Dallas, the temple president, he used to, obviously all temples will go through some issues, some problems, financial problems, and they were also going through their own challenges. And I used to see the temple president used to come and in front of the altar and discuss with the deities. And it was not in the mind. He used to actually discuss. His actions were very visible. He used to discuss. Somebody from outside, if they would see him, they would think that he's mad. What is he doing? He's not mad. He's established that sambandh, that this is the supreme personality of Godhead standing in front of me. I have to give my updates to him. And he will come up with solutions. That sambandh is not established. It is very, very important for us to establish. In fact, once I was hearing His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj also, he said Grahasthas specifically should talk to the deities, should discuss with the deities. So this is the kind of sambandh we need to have with Lord. And in this shlokas we see that this is the sambandh that they have established. In previous shloka they are running after to meet Lord Krishna and offering all their gifts. So they are offering in physical form, and in upcoming shlokas they are offering in speech, in their with their mind. They are offering they are making an offering through speech. They are offering beautiful prayers. In fact, this shloka is such a beautiful shloka. Each word we can have a separate class on it. So we will just go little bit superficially, though I recommend not to go superficial, but we will cover some aspects superficially of this shloka. So the first line says, natāḥ sadāṅghri-paṅkajam. So natāḥ, bowing down to nātha, to the Lord. sadāṅghri-paṅkajam. Sada, aṅghri, sada means always, aṅghri means feet, and paṅkajam means lotus. Who bow downs? Viriñca. Viriñca is Lord Brahmā, and the sons of Lord Brahmā are called viriñca. So Brahmā and the sons of Lord Brahmā, and who else? Surendra. Indra is bowing down to Lord Krishna. And very, very peculiar word, and we see this word being used so many times. Paṅkaja aṅghriya. Even if you see Kunti Maharani in her prayer, she says, Nama Paṅkaja aṅghriya. Nama Paṅkaja nābhāya, Nama Paṅkaja māline, Nama Paṅkaja netrāya, Namaste Paṅkaja aṅghriya. So if you see, each and every limb of the Lord is described using the analogy of lotus. So I was wondering, why lotus? Why not rose? Why not some other flower? Why just lotus? So we'll spend some time going in detail about this Paṅkaja and lotus feet. So Paṅkaja, lotus, is considered to be a very, very auspicious flower. And when it blooms, it looks very beautiful. And the lotus feet of the Lord is compared to this Paṅkaj aṅghri, to the lotus. Why? Because lotus flowers are very soft, very smooth in touching. And the same is Krishna's feet. They are very soft and they are specifically massaged by Lakshmi ji. So they are very, very special, and that is why it is compared to lotus. And then one would wonder why always throughout our scriptures it is always recommended. If you read, it is said we should take shelter of lotus feet. Why not hands? Why not face? Why not chest? Why not thighs? It is always mentioned lotus feet. So there should be something special in the lotus feet. That is why all our acharyas, they have not recommended to take shelter of any other limbs of the Lord, but specifically asked us to take shelter of the lotus feet, Paṅkaja aṅghriya. They have asked us to take shelter of the lotus feet. So we will try to see why it is said lotus feet. And in one of the scriptures, a beautiful shloka comes and describes Lord Ranganath's lotus feet. And it says, Vande tam Ranganathasya padam bhojam mahabhutam. I offer my respectful obeisances onto the lotus feet of Ranganath. And what are the characteristics of the lotus feet of Ranganath? Unnatam avanati, avanatanam yatra unnati. What it means is, the characteristics is that whoever surrenders to the lotus feet of the Lord is upheld, is elevated. Avanatānaṁ yatra unnati. They are elevated, their unnati will happen. And whoever is resisting, whoever is demon-like, unnatānaṁ avanati, will be subdued. So that is the characteristics of the lotus feet of the Lord. And if we see the pastime, there are so many pastimes just on the lotus feet of the Lord. If we see when Lord Krishna was just 3 months old, and Mother Yashoda was performing a very like some ceremonies along with other mothers that needs to be performed, Krishna was kept below a cart. And when Krishna was kept alone below the cart, usually the children will fling their legs up and down. And Krishna's toes just touched the cart, and Sakatasura was dead. The cart, it is said that cart flew like hundreds of feet up, and then it crashed, and Sakatasura was killed over there. So that is the importance. So while we are actually taking darshan of Lord, it is said, right, we should start with the lotus feet of the Lord. And while we are taking darshan, we should remember these pastimes. Lotus feet, what does it indicate? Which are the pastimes that are covered in the lotus feet? While the demon Sakatasura was killed, but if you see Ahalya, Lord Ram was delivered Ahalya from the curse of Gautam Rishi. Ahalya was cursed by Gautam Rishi because she was found intimately associating with Lord Indra, and Lord Indra had actually disguised himself as Gautam Rishi, and she was found to be associating with Lord Indra, and Gautam Rishi cursed Lord Indra as well as Ahalya to become a stone. And after killing Tadaka, Lord Ramchandra felt that, my job is over and maybe I have to return back to Ayodhya. But Vishwamitra took him towards Mithila. And when he was going towards Mithila, Lord Ramchandra stepped on a stone, and immediately that stone converted into Ahalya. So that is the glory of the lotus feet of the Lord. It can destroy the demon, and it can deliver the pious who are surrendering onto the lotus feet. Even if we take the example of kālaḥ, right? He was subdued by Krishna's lotus feet. In fact, whichever fangs were coming out, Krishna stepped on those fangs only. So our ego will be actually subdued by Krishna when we surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna. In fact, the Nagapatnis were glorifying that same feet which was stamping their husband. And Bali Maharaj, if you take example of Bali Maharaj, Vaman Dev, when he came, he asked for 3 steps of land. By 2 steps, Lord Vaman Dev took all the land in the universes, right? And 3rd step, he was asking Bali Maharaj, where to put my 3rd step? You gave me guarantee that you will give me place for 3 steps of land. Then Bali Maharaj humbly says, you put the 3rd step on the head. And when Lord Vaman Dev puts his lotus feet on the head of Bali Maharaj, in spite of giving everything, he gained everything. He gained the companionship of Vaman Dev. Lord Vaman Dev is eternally present as a doorman in the kingdom of Bali Maharaj. So while we are giving everything to Lord Krishna, we will gain his companionship. So that is the glory of lotus feet of the Lord, right? And when this episode happened, so when Vaman Dev was expanding, he pierced through the covering of the universe, and Mother Ganga flowed through that hole, and it touched the nails of Vaman Dev. And when Mother Ganga was flowing on this planet, it was having lot of force. So who agreed to take this force? Because it was touching the lotus feet of the Lord. Lord Shiva agreed that I will take that Ganga on my head because it is that the Ganga is touching the lotus feet. So Lord Shiva took it on his head, on his jata, and because of that, Lord Shiva became even more glorious. Right? So these are some of the pastimes. There are many pastimes, but we will go through some of them. It is said that I talked about the nail of the Lord, right? The Ganga actually touched the nail of the Lord, toe of the Lord. So the toe of the Lord is considered to be very, very sweet. In one of the shlokas in Rig Veda, it is said, Tad Vishnu Pade Param Madhva Utsaha. So at the lotus feet of the Lord, there is like a spring of honey. It is so sweet. And if you see, it is so sweet that the Lord himself wants to taste that lotus feet. So during annihilation, Lord Krishna, you would have seen the picture, he's sucking his own toe. That is the sweetness of the lotus feet of the Lord, that he wants to suck his own toe. And this nail of the Lord is very, very powerful. In Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, Kapil Dev, he actually explains the process of meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord and what are the benefits. So he says, Sanchintayed, that, no, I had that Brahma Samhita tune. Ishvara Krishna. Sanchintayed bhagavatas charanāravindam vajrānakuṣadvajasaruhulancanādhyam uttungarakta vilasan nakhanchakravala jyotisnabhir ahata mahadadridan andhakaram. So what it means is, Sanchintayed Bhagavatas Charanaravindam means one who meditates on the lotus feet of the Lord for a long time. Sanchintayed means for a long time. So when we meditate, what is there on the lotus feet of the Lord? Vajra Ankusha, Vajra is there. So Vajra is the weapon of Lord Indra. So what does it Vajra denote? Vajra denotes that we may have heaps and mountains of sins and our bad karmas. That is destroyed like a vajra, like a thunderbolt. Suppose if there is some small stone in front of us, what do we usually do? We just kick it, casually kick it, and it gets removed from our path. Similarly, taking shelter of the lotus feet, the sins and our anarthas and our huge pile of sinful activities that we have done, the dirt is just kicked away and destroyed. It gets converted into dust. Mountains of it gets converted into dust. Ankusha is the elephant goad. Elephant goad. So what is that? It's like a weapon which is used to train the elephants. Right? So the significance of it is like our mind, the elephant, it's like an elephant who's running here and then and destroying our bhakti. And our mind will be controlled by Ankusha. And then Dvaja. Dvaja means that, we will get security and comfort at the lotus feet of the Lord. And then Saroruha. Saroruha is the lotus. Saroruha means lotus, and it means that the Lord's feet is like lotus feet, which also signifies that it is specifically massaged by Lakshmi Devi, right? And these are the beautiful marks that happen on the lotus feet. Then the next line says, Uttunga Rakta Vilasa Nakha Chakravala. When one goes and takes the darshan of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, a moon-like effulgence emanates from the Lord, which destroys the ignorance that we have. Right? So these are the power, as I mentioned earlier, the nail actually is so powerful. Our nail is like of useless. It's of no worth. But the nails of lotus feet of the Lord are also so powerful that there is an effulgence that comes out. And when we expose, what happens when we expose ourselves to that effulgence? Jyotsna bhir ahat mahad dridha andhakaram. Jyotsna means the light of that effulgence will destroy the andhakaram, the andhakaran of ignorance. So these, while we are taking darshan of Lord and meditating on the lotus feet, we could actually remember the pastimes of the Lord, the different pastimes that happened. And if you see, many pastimes happened on the lotus feet of the Lord. And then we can meditate on these shlokas, how to remember, what are the significance of the symbols on the lotus feet. In Srimad Bhagavatam 12th canto, 7 benefits are given for meditating, when we meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord. So it is said, Avismriti Krishna Padar Vindayu. So when we are meditating on Krishna's lotus feet, what happens? 7 things happen. Shinoti abhadranicha. Shinoti means, destroyed. What is destroyed? All the inauspicious things are destroyed. That is the first benefit. Second benefit is samatanoti. Samatanoti, good fortune is increases. Then third benefit is sattvasya shuddhim. Sattvasya shuddhim means, sattva means purifies the heart. Fourth benefit is Paramatma Bhaktim, devotion of the Lord increases. Fifth, you get knowledge, jnanam. Sixth, you just don't get jnana, you get realized knowledge, vijnana. Seventh is, after all that, you get vairagya, vairagya yuktam, renunciation. So these are the benefits of meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. The lotus, we can meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord, and also we can meditate on the lotus feet of our Guru, our spiritual master, on Srila Prabhupada, because they are residing near the lotus feet of the Lord. So if we are touching the current, the electric current, the person touching us will also get that electric current. So that is the effect on meditating or touching the lotus feet of our Guru or Srila Prabhupada. So once His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, there was a huge pandal program organized for Srila Prabhupada. And His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj used to attend that pandal program. And after the class, Srila Prabhupada used to walk, and while he was coming towards His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, that time Maharaj was not initiated. But Maharaj knew that it is very auspicious to touch the lotus feet of great people. So he immediately bent forward to touch the lotus feet of the Lord. The lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. And the devotees over there said, no, you can't touch the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. And, then Srila Prabhupada looked at His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj and said, but you can touch my lotus feet, and you should come and sit near me every evening when I am giving a class. So it is very auspicious to touch the lotus feet. But in one of the lectures, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj himself spoke that it should not be done in a playful act. Sometimes devotees are like, Prabhuji, ye, wo. It should not be done in a playful act. It is very, very serious. It is a very serious thing that touching the lotus feet of the Lord, and we should not do it in a playful act. So this is, just meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. And this, this one word we can have many classes on this Paṅkajaṅ. But we will go forward. We will go to the next line. Can you go up a little bit? The next line says, parāyaṇaṁ kṣemam ihecchatāṁ param. What it says is, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So again, this line indicates the sambandh is very clearly established. The denizens of Dwarka are establishing their sambandh with Lord Krishna very nicely. They are not just saying that, oh, you are a great king, you are come after so much time. No, they are not saying that. They are establishing, oh, you are the Supreme Lord. You are param. You are the Supreme Lord. And what are we? We are your servants. So this sambandh should be very clearly established. And specifically in India, this sambandh is taken very cheaply, or they are not even understood. We have not even understood. We take Krishna to be just another demigod, or we take him to be a superhuman who can do some superhuman acts. No, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if you see Srila Prabhupada, I'm sure if we would have not read Srila Prabhupada books, we would have just considered Krishna as the supreme God or Devta or something like that. But imagine, just think what words Srila Prabhupada had used. Srila Prabhupada has used the supreme personality of Godhead. No ambiguity at all. So what Srila Prabhupada has said, he's the supreme. Second, he's saying, Srila Prabhupada is saying that he's personality. He is not energy, light. It is not, sometimes in India we think, right, God is light and energy and this and that, and God is supreme light and maybe we are some tube light. So that is like very bogus. God is not light. So Srila Prabhupada, he described Krishna as the supreme person. Because it is said, only a human can give birth to a human, right? In Bhagavad Gita also, very clearly Krishna says this, Sarvasya yoneshu kaunteya. Of all the yoni, I am the seed giving father. Krishna says that, I am giving the seed giving father. So Srila Prabhupada left no ambiguity. So first, supreme, second, personality. And then what did he say? He did not say supreme God. He said supreme personality of Godhead. Agar God mein bhi kuch hai, to uska bhi head. If there are many gods. Obviously because of our culture in India, we have so many gods. So no ambiguity. Supreme personality of Godhead, uska bhi head is Krishna. Because of this no ambiguity, even a child can go and preach. Even people like me can go and preach and say that Krishna is the supreme personality of God. And Srila Prabhupada, so many times he has glorified Saraswati, who's daughter of Shyam Sundar Prabhu and Malati Mataji, I think. Shyam Sundar Prabhu, daughter of Shyam Sundar Prabhu. And he used to say, that this Saraswati goes and preaches to the people who don't know about Krishna. She asks, do you know who's supreme personality of Godhead? And they will say no. And she'll say, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So this is the way Srila Prabhupada, and then in fact in every pages you will find Srila Prabhupada stressing on this sambandha of what is Krishna and who are we. So, in various scriptures, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport also, it is established that Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, so many shlokas. One of the shlokas is Matta Parataram Nanyat Kinchit Asti Dhananjaya. There is no other truth beyond me. And Mai Sarvam Idam Proptam Sutre Mani Gana Eva. I am like everything is resting upon me like the pearls resting on the thread. So many times Krishna is given his authority as the supreme being, but somehow in our culture we just forget that. So this is Krishna talking about his supremacy. The denizens of Dwarka talking about his supremacy. There is only 15 seconds left, so I'll quickly complete. The last one is Nayatra kālaḥ prabhavet para prabhuḥ. What does it mean? Nayatra kālaḥ. Kālaḥ means time. So the supreme personality of Godhead is not bound by time, or the influence of time is not there on the supreme personality of Godhead. There are primarily two influences of time. The first is it deteriorates. It deteriorates our physical, mental, our intellectual faculties. Second is there is Kal brings people together and Kal brings people away from each other. So these influences of Kal are not applicable to Lord Krishna. So here, and going forward the shlokas, very beautiful prayers by the denizens of Dwarka. Actually Dwarka is a very opulent place. And in an opulent place, typically you don't remember the Lord, or you don't remember Krishna, or you don't glorify the Lord so much. If you go to cities like Bombay, where a lot of opulence, lot of this, that passion is there, you generally don't hear the glories of the Lord. But in spite of Dwarka being an opulent city, they are glorifying Lord in this shloka and in the upcoming shlokas. So to summarize, few things that we learned from this shloka is, first is the sambandh that we need to establish with Krishna and his devotees. Second thing is, while meditating on Lord Krishna, we could remember, while taking darshan of Lord Krishna, we should first focus on his feet. And while taking darshan of his feet, we could remember the various pastimes that have happened uh, uh, through his lotus feet. And what are the benefits that we get by meditating on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Third thing that we learned is Krishna is the supreme. Actually, this particular line itself, there could be many classes. The supremacy of Lord Krishna. So we understood that in this shloka, that the supremacy of Lord, and because He's supreme, He's not bound by time. In fact, in Jagannath Puri, like the doors were closed, and I used to ask the pandas, ये दरवाजा कब खुलेगा? And different pandas will give different answers. One of the pandas, he gave an answer saying that कल जगन्नाथ जी ना शादी के लिए गए थे, तो उनको शादी में लेट हो गया, इसलिए थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा. And I was feeling, ये क्या है? See the sambandh established with the Lord. They think Lord to be their family man, and when they are inviting Lord to their marriage, Lord will come. They have that kind of confidence that Lord will come to the marriage. One of the pandas, he gave a very philosophical answer to me. I said, ये darshan कब खुलेगा? क्या time पे ये doors will open? I asked him, and he said, time Krishna से चलता है, Krishna time से नहीं चलता है. So such philosophical answers and some various answers you get. So this is what we learn from this particular shloka. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Any comments, corrections, or questions? Yes, Prabhu. You can ask a question and answer it. Yes, very nice question. In fact, sometimes we would. So the question is, we should talk to the Lord. Is what I said. But sometimes we also take us a very sentimental route, and we start talking to the Lord. Mere lal, mere ye, wo, mere wo. Ye, like Kanai Thakur Prabhu gave very nice examples in his classes. That once he went to one house, and that Mataji put Laddu Gopal on the gas stove, and he said, "Mere lal ko cooking बहुत पसंद है." So it becomes very sentimentalism. So what at least in my little realization, and others can add, is we should not be talking about those ecstasies to the Lord, that I am feeling so ecstatic, I am crying in front of you. But we should talk what are the difficulties that you are facing in your bhakti, and pray to the Lord how we can overcome those challenges, and give us strength. So those prayers are also actually talking to the Lord. So in our capacity, I think we should just limit ourselves to those kind of discussions, and we should kind of ask the Lord how I can serve you, or how I can serve Srila Prabhupada, or how I can serve Guru Maharaj. So maybe that is what we could limit our discussion. Otherwise, as you said rightly, we could actually cross and become very sentimental. Oh, what do you want to wear today? Should I make you wear something? Actually, elevated devotees can talk. Like Janva Mataji actually talks to her deities, and she will ask, what do you want to eat today? And based on what the desire Lord has, and what she gets inspired, then she will cook. So at least I am not in that position, so I don't talk in that language. But my discussion, not that I am very great devotee, but I tend to pray to the Lord, trying to establish my sambandh with the Lord in form of prayers. Yes. Thank you so much. Yes. They get to touch the lotus feet of the Lord also, and some days they get to embrace also, I think. Right? Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah. It's a it's a $1 million question. Most of us struggle. I mean, I am struggling. So the question is, uh, how do we find? So we have to take shelter of the lotus feet. One thing that I also wanted to add, taking the shelter of the lotus feet also means following the instructions of Krishna and our Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. The question is that, while we want to establish sambandh with Krishna and also with the devotees of the Lord, with our Guru, and also with our peers, sometimes we are not able to establish that relationship with our peers, and we cannot have a heart-to-heart talk with our peers. We cannot be open to our peers, and we may be rest assured that he will not judge me. So how to get such a kind of a friend who can help us, how to establish that kind of a sambandh? Yeah, it is very, very difficult. Most of us are struggling, I feel. Some are very fortunate to have such peers or friends in Krishna consciousness. But sometimes, this is my personal view, that sometimes it is our inhibition which stops us from getting a good friend. We think, अरे मैं उसको ये बता दूंगा. What will he start thinking? He will start thinking low of me. ये सोचेगा कि अच्छा ये ऐसा तो भक्त दिखता है, चैंटिंग करता है, ये करता है, वो करता है, और ऐसा भी सोचता है. So we actually stop ourselves because of those inhibitions that we have, that we don't want to be judged. So it's very important that person who is giving, who wants to give his friendship to others, should also not judge. He should be very, very confidential of what one person is revealing to himself. He should not talk in public. And that is very, very important in friendship, so that friendship will be mutual, and that person will be carefree. Like sometimes I'm not trying to say that I do some things, but I'm just sharing my experiences that when I go to, once a year we try to go to Radha Gopinath temple and we meet Radha Gopinath Prabhu, and in front of him I am like, without clothes. I'm just what I am. I don't hide anything. I just tell whatever I feel. I tell all the thoughts, even sometimes evil thoughts that come in my mind. I just tell him, Prabhuji, I'm feeling like that. I don't know why I'm feeling like that, why I'm thinking like that. And he gives a very soothing balm to and he never judges me. So I feel all the more comfortable in opening up to him. So we should try, first is from ourselves, we should not have that inhibition. Second is we should also try to whom we are revealing to. If that person is talking about somebody to you, you can be kind of rest assured that he may talk about you also to others. So he may not be a confidential friend. So it will take time, but once we establish our sambandh with Krishna and Guru, I think they will guide us to our dear friend whom we can reveal everything. But at least we should start establishing sambandh with Krishna and Guru. I think that was one of the answers was given by Kanai Thakur Prabhu also when this question was being asked, how do we find a true friend? So Kanai Thakur Prabhu said, you should first try to establish sambandh with your Guru, and then Guru will guide you to a good friend who can help you in Krishna consciousness. So I think we can end here. We have taken 5 minutes over time. Thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.